do a quick overview of our operational update or activities that we've had in the last 30 days. So with that, we've had, real quick, we've had 4 criminal arrests in the last 30 days. With an additional 5 major traffic arrests. Those are things of high speed, DUIs, stuff like that. The deputies have generated 35 incident reports. That could be anything from criminal damage to just anything that they would actually generate a report on. They've attempted 60 paper services with 25 successful services. We're also on top of answering calls. We still they're responsible for serving those civil paper services. They do additional things like we've done 53 location checks, and there again, that tends to increase in the summertime for vacation patrol requests, like we've talked about, that they can put on the app. So we've hit 53 of those in the last 30 days for we call extra patrols, building checks, things of that nature. And then like usual, we see an influx up and down of 27 vehicle crashes. And I relate a lot of that to some of these are minor. This time of year in June, the deer are dropping or having their young. So they're up and active in a lot of deer crashes. But also with that, we've seen a large increase of high-speed citations. And when I say high-speed, we're talking a lot of these are on the state routes, and we're getting speeds of 100 plus. So some of the duppies, say, hey, I got my record best, and unfortunately not bragging on it, but they can't believe that they're picking up 100, 105, 113. And I think we've had at least 3 of those this recently.
Goodness, that's a scary speed right there. You're getting up to one wrong movement. I mean, things look terrible right there.
Yep. And they do have the fatal 4, which is your speed, your seatbelt, DUIs, and distracted driving. There'll be a lot of focus coming up on that. I know the state police really run a campaign for that in October, so that's something to be mindful of. With that, I would like to mention that some of our crashes are related to blind intersections. This time of year, blind intersections, you get the corn, and unmarked intersections are hazardous the way they are because people assume who's got the right of way, and obviously you got to yield to the right. But I always tell people, don't count on somebody else's actions knowing that they've got the right of way when it comes to a blind intersection. Some of those blind intersections can, you're almost going to have to come to a complete stop in a rural county area to do that. Unfortunately, not only is the blind intersections, you've got some things going on that can contribute to that. Inexperienced drivers, you want to talk to your teens and stuff and make them aware of that. So then, I know we touched on it last month. One of the big things right now that we're dealing with is stolen vehicles. We have had a huge increase in stolen vehicles. Primarily, a lot of it's been focused. There's been 3 or 4 throughout the county. And I always go back to the fact that it's not very often we're hot wiring cars. We're leaving keys or key fobs in the vehicles. And so the big influx on that's been up in the Mount Auburn area. And Mount Auburn, anywhere across County 22, County 2, where they're traveling up that way. And it's kind of odd. We'll find a vehicle. We're either finding a stolen vehicle report from a county residence, or we're finding where a vehicle has been ditched and it comes back out of Decatur a lot of times. And then that same note, you'll have a found vehicle from Decatur, but a stolen vehicle from Mount Auburn. So I don't know if they're using them for transportation back and forth. When I say narrowing it down, we've got a lot of information. Looks like it's circling back. It might be juveniles involved. Maybe who knows what's
items being in the vehicle is one thing. Why Mount Auburn? Any idea?
Well, I just think there's got to be some, we believe there's some connection there between some juveniles in the Decatur area coming to, I don't know if they're visiting a girlfriend or if there's something going on where when you have 4 and not only are these vehicles being stolen, but they're also oftentimes being reported found in Mount Auburn. Not always, but like I said, in the last 30 days, when you count 4 vehicles stolen in that area, that's a and it's there again. Mount Auburn doesn't have their police department. We've got 2 deputies trying to cover the whole county. We've put a lot of effort into extra patrol up there,
Wow.
but you just can't be everywhere at once. And part of that's asking for the public's help by taking those keys out of that car.
Absolutely. And I hate to call it a trend. I've seen it on social media, and it's almost like a big city crime. And it is juveniles. They are ripping the dash or right around the ignition area screwdriver, and they're turning the ignition, and it's going on. And I don't know. Are you finding problems in the interior of these cars, like it's been ripped apart?
No, fortunately for us, all of them has simply just been the key. They're newer vehicles, so they got the key fob push button, and the key fob's left in there. And that's what we've had. We've yet to recover out of the 3 out of the 4 that we've had that we've recovered. There hasn't been any internal damage.
Interesting.
Exterior damage where they've tore your car up or dented it or had damage to the exterior, but nothing on the interior.
Sideswiped a mailbox, pulling into someone's house or something. I'm sure that's very common there, but it's very interesting. And in our last couple of minutes here, kind of going back, revisiting the conversation on golf carts and those and the popularness of these in these communities. What's the message to the people out there in terms of all this?
That's a big one. Like the combination for disaster, you've got inexperienced drivers, blind intersections, and then unfortunately, the parents are, allowing these non-highway vehicles to include golf carts. There's a large complaint going on that we're trying to deal with out in Burton Eddy, anywhere in the county rural areas. Now, we recognize the fact that Taylorville, Kincaid, several areas they have ordinances to allow that. And so that's a topic of conversation that I'd really like to highlight, that basically, to remind people that these non-highway vehicles, there's no match for them in a vehicle on the highway. They've got to be mindful of the fact that, these areas that allow them in town, there's restrictions. They have to have seat belts, turn signals, insurance. Now, in the county, there is a state law that allows them to use it for agricultural, that they're exempt from these, but they still have to carry their insurance. What I want to point out is, unfortunately, it's sad that we've had some very unfortunate incidences, not only in our county and the surrounding counties, involving these non-highway vehicles. And I would just like to remind the parents that, in the county, it's illegal to operate them on the roadway. With that being said, a lot of it falls to whether or not ordinances and areas are allowing them. It's a constant struggle for us that we're trying to maintain the county or the county laws, but then you have people in transit going to places where Taylorville, stuff like that. And, most importantly, I want to focus on underage. You're still required to be 16 to operate them in any of these incorporated areas that are allowing non-highway vehicles to be operated within their jurisdiction. But places like out in Burton Eddy, there is a fine that can be instituted to the parents, because there's a state law that says you can't allow permitting an authorized person to drive on the roadways. So there's a fine that could be imposed on that. Our goal is not to issue fines. Our goal is to basically make parents mindful of the fact that it's like specifically kids operating them on county roadways.
Absolutely. And you mentioned briefly that horrible tragedy that we're just coming out of about a month ago, and it happened to dealt with 3 underage people in that golf cart there. You mentioned no match for a vehicle, a regular vehicle. And we've almost created a culture with a city-friendly golf cart friendly city here. And you get out into places like Burton Eddy, and it almost feels like you're in a place where I'm 15, I can drive the golf cart, it's safe. But really, it's going to fall back onto the parents here if that's happening.
Yeah. Well, and you think about in town, everybody, you pull up to an intersection, you can see that golf cart. If you're out in the county and you've got a 13-year-old running from one lake lot to the other, but taking county roads to get there, you've got things like corn, you've got things like the unstable, when they get off to the side of the road. We've not only had, actions, but we've had them where they've gotten the rocks, got loose, rolled them over, and you've got injuries. They're just, it's inexperience and being on the roadway is a combination for disaster. And I'd hope that we could, I want to bring that to light and make sure that we're mindful and hopefully not having underage children operating these these machines.
Sure. What can feel like an insignificant, innocent little trip down the county road, it could really turn into tragedy with inexperienced drivers. So great words so far from Chief Deputy Jim Baker of the Christian County Sheriff's Office. We're going to have to take our break now, though. We have much more to talk about. When we come back, you've been listening to the WTIM Morning Show right here on WTIM, your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
If Jansen's Heating and Air gave your furnace one of those fancy genetic tests, what would be the results?
62% old,
33% inefficient,
and 5% noisy.
Uncovering your heating and air's past can greatly impact your future comfort.
So now's the time to rejuvenate your senior system with Jansen's Heating and Air.
Our talented techs alter your comfort system's genetic code to slow the aging process and stretch the life of your heating and air.
It's like twisting a spigot on the fountain of youth.
We know how to calibrate, combobulate, and reconfigure all the necessary parts to ensure that your furnace outlives its ancient ancestors.
Increase the efficiency, safety, and reliability of your elderly AC and old-fashioned furnace.
If your comfort's lineage is in danger of extinction, let Jansen's upgrade your DNA.
DNA?
Doesn't that stand for darn nice air?
No. No, it doesn't.
No. Anyway, call Jansen's Heating and Air, 562-5201.
JansonsHeating.com.
If you're even thinking about putting a new mattress on an old box spring, visit Just Beds today. The free box spring event is underway. Get a free box spring with the purchase of any premium Bemco, Arctic Breeze, Max Life, or Chatham & Wells mattress. That even includes any Bemco mattress currently on sale. Free delivery, free setup, free haul away, and a free box spring from the Yawn Exterminators on Montvale, Springfield.
Just Beds.
I'm Will Perkins, President and CEO of the Taylorville Community Credit Union. TCCU is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the Miller Media Group Community Spotlight, allowing a different nonprofit organization to be highlighted on WTIM, WMKR, and WRAN each month.
Hello, this is Frankie Colabrusco, Senior Vice President of Taylorville VFW Auxiliary Post 4495. Since 1946, we have been proudly serving our local veterans, their families, and other organizations in and around our community. We hold benefits and events all throughout the year to help provide services to our community. Come join us. Our next event is our Wreaths Across America Benefit Run on August 10th. For more information, contact the VFW Memorial Home at 217-824-2115.
This is Cammie Payne, General Manager of the Miller Media Group. We, along with TCCU, are proud to bring you the Community Spotlight each month.
TCCU is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the Miller Media Group Community Spotlight. Come join us. You'll wonder why you waited. Member NCUA.
Agriculture is our largest industry. Your agriculture information station is WTIM, AM, FM, and online. Tune in or stream WTIM's over 8 hours a day of ag information featuring our local farm broadcaster to be in the know.
Jim Stepp, owner of Central Illinois Asphalt in Taylorville, helps protect your driveway or parking lot with recycled asphalt and environmentally friendly sealer. Let his 40 years of experience work for you at a reasonable price. Click his icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back into WTIM, your information station in the midst of our WTIM morning show with Chief Deputy Jim Baker of the Christian County Sheriff's Office. Thanks so much to our live stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. Chief Deputy, it wasn't only a couple of months ago we talked a little bit about some of the federal inmate operations here, and there's been some inquiries out there. So to silence any rumors and to just get out the information that needs to be out there, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, so like at the Sheriff's Office, transparency is key there. And I will say that with all those inquiries I've heard or been asked about it, we are still under a federal contract. We did not lose the federal contract. The federal inmates that we had at one time had been moved out. We don't have any control over that. There's no guarantee how many you have and how many you don't have. The U.S. Marshal Service oversee that, and at that time they do have things like a realignment throughout the state, and it based on their court needs. And Quincy built a new jail. They moved a lot of inmates over to there. A lot of it has to do with their court hearings and their court proceedings. In addition to that, when the federal government we get a notice, hey, we're moving 3 out today, we're moving 5 out tomorrow. And then there are other counties that done the same thing. And then they come back to us and said, hey, we've got some things that we wanted to see if we could work through. And one of them was to basically we would have to pay the federal government to do a PREA audit, which is the Prison Rape Act, and you get everybody certified on that. Then you have to pay the federal government to come in and review your policy, your act, and stuff like that. And those things are all being worked out, as well as some, we ran into an issue where like our dental within the county, we had trouble getting dental service. Since then, we've worked with the Marshal Service, and we're getting that lined out with Sangamon County that will now be taking them up there when we're on schedule to get federal inmates back in the facility. It is a census. Just like before, sometimes you'll have 10, sometimes you've got 3. Right now, we don't have any, and they're doing a statewide, or a realignment's what we're being told by the federal government.
Okay.
So
we
still are under federal contract, and we will have feds back in the near future, from what I'm understanding.
Okay. And this audit, is it happening right now? Is it upcoming?
So you basically get everybody certified, which we have.
Okay.
There's some online, and we've sent some people into the regular in person. And since then, they will basically you'll have them come in, do the PREA audit, pay them for basically certification, and go from there.
Okay,
so
perfect. Well, thank you for clearing all that up for us there, Chief
anytime.
Deputy. Awesome. And in our last couple of minutes on this WTIM morning show, I know the Christian County Sheriff's Office is busy this week with the Christian County Fair. What's the involvement like? And a couple tips for the parents.
Sure. So right off the bat, public safety for the involvement. When you're taking those kids out to the fair, you're letting them go. We want them to go out and have a good time. But some things that somebody may not have think of that they might not have thought of to have in place is you want to have a meeting place. Have them stay in groups with other individuals. Take a note of what they're wearing, whether that's a picture or not. If we're trying to find a lost kid, you can come say, hey, they left the house wearing this teal colored t-shirt. It's a lot easier for us to know what we're looking for. We can get that out and stuff like that. Stay in well-lit areas and the basics. Other than that, we want everybody to go out and have a lot of fun. Our role in that is the county fair hires the deputies to work in their time off to be out there, typically 3 or 4 a night. And then of course, during the concert, we'll triple that as far as their, our presence there. And we're just there to basically be a presence to, be there in need if they've got a lost kid or they've got something going on, or somebody that the county fair needs to address, just like, anything else. Sometimes somebody has a little too many cocktails, and we hopefully can rein that in and get that taken care of. But there again, it's just being out there for our presence, public safety, and being involved in the community. Looking forward to that. We got the big concert coming up Friday night. The one thing I'd like to point out on that is keep in mind, for those that are not going, there's going to be a high congested traffic area going in the concert pre and then post the concert, everybody trying to get out. That's going to be a big thing. And with that, keep in mind these events in the county, August 1st through the 3rd, there could be a high congested area on South Fork Dirt Riders and Route 104 for a big event there too.
Perfect. Worked it all in, Chief Deputy.
Right.
Especially that the little tip there, taking a picture. It's a good opportunity for a group photo before the group heads out to the fair.
Make it fun, and then you've got that photo.
You have that photo. Yeah. You'll be thanking yourself later. But thank you, Chief Deputy, for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Chief Deputy Jim Baker of the Christian County Sheriff's Office here on the WTIM Morning Show.
Vice presidential running mate has introduced himself to America. Senator J.D. Vance